Yes, also known Avery like a very nice guy, also known as Carlton Banks. Carlton with a K, B-A-N triple X. Carlton with a K, B-A-N-X-X-X. And I'm here with my brother, the co-host, Just Devon.
It is just Devon. Thank you. Thank you.
Just Devon.
We're in the middle. These get released later, so we're in the middle of the beginning of
The zombie apocalypse.
We don't know what we're in the middle of. If you're looking at this right now and you're scavenging for food, things went bad with Corona.
Yeah.
If you're not, we overreact.
Just as
it
I
could
was starting
go
to get famous.
anywhere. It could go anywhere. It could go anywhere. Who knows? I mean, if we're all scavenging for food, maybe that's how you become famous.
Wow.
They're like, you're the one guy on the radio.
Wow.
I don't know.
That would be terrible. And also, it's Pie Day, too.
It is Pie Day.
Yeah.
I almost missed out on Pie Day.
Here we go. So the crazy thing with, I guess now, things aren't back to normal, but we could joke around a little bit. I don't know nothing that's come out except for one album, and that's Run the Jewels. And Devon,
Yeah, I listen
I'm gonna say this on camera.
all the time.
I'm sorry.
I told I don't know how you did. I was like, yo, this is right up your alley. Like,
I'm a huge Killer Mike fan, but it just sounded like, for lack of a racist statement, white noise. There's so many.
but that's the kind of music that you like.
I don't like white noise.
No. I'm not talking about white noise. When I say, like, we've interviewed producers and stuff like that on this show.
Oh
And
yeah.
when producers get into the musicality of music, I got to be honest with you, it's the most boring conversation I've ever been a part of. Like, anytime you and a producer link up and y'all like, oh, did you use the output on and you turned it up like 0.3%? And I'm like, why are we here? Like,
I know.
I said,
That's
I
what
like
people
the end
do.
product. So LP is that kind of producer. And I was like, yo, like, producers that make music, they're like, I don't care if y'all like it. It's good. Like, this is what. So I was surprised you didn't
I like
it.
Yeezus, so
I know.
yeah, I get it.
I said, you like Yeezus, and you're like, nah, I'm not a fan.
I wasn't messing with it.
I was like, oh,
And
okay.
then this happened, and then I would go running, and I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
Yeah.
next album,
yeah.
okay.
And they make
All right.
music that makes you want to do stuff, like run.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's exactly what it made me want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I can't listen to R&B while I'm jogging. I'll be out there like I can't listen to Drake Jaded while I'm jogging.
I knew my homeboy used to listen to R&B white, and it was weird. Like, I was like, are you listening to Jodeci?
Well,
I'd be like, what? Okay. I'm like, it is what it is.
listen to R&B with your homeboys. I remember my homeboy and me used to ride around, and this is before he got canceled, but like he would be jamming and listening to R. Kelly and not the upbeat songs. We'd just be rolling around listening to Your Body's Calling for Me, and I'm like, stop it, bro. Like, that's not fun.
You were riding around with somebody listening to Your Body's Calling for Me.
It's not fun. It was just,
Hey man, that's what y'all, if that's what y'all like, that's what y'all like. You know
it's black R&B. And speaking of black and ugly as ever I stay. Houston down to my socks. It's your boy Chips Ahoy. Aha. Avery, the anomaly. It says that now.
Hey, they can't see what our names are. I just realized that when I was editing the video. But
Oh, you can't?
make sure you tell them what your name is now.
Really? On every well, anyway, fair enough.
Yeah.
Avery, like a very nice guy, formerly known as whatever. If you want to call me Carlton Banks still, you can. It applies. It applies to my life. Also there with my brother, the co-host, Just Devon.
That's me.
Boom. One of the greatest writers I've heard for the Houston Press.
Haven't even been
Also,
right.
one of the greatest teachers I've ever seen. He's great.
Lies.
No, man. Why can't I look in this time? Why can't I love
You haven't seen enough to say the greatest. Like, if people that had studied the writers and the teachers said the greatest, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll take
the
that.
ones that I've studied?
You know what I'm saying? That's like me saying, yo, that's the greatest ballerina I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't know nothing about ballet, but
okay, I know about that. Those are the ones that I've seen. I might not know as much as everyone else, but don't act like I don't read.
I get you. I'm not saying you don't read. How you jump to that?
It is what it is. We have a special guest in the building with us today. Actually, I know you as Stephanie, but I don't know what you want me to call you.
Miss Idio, if you're nasty. Just kidding.
Wow. There we go. What's your personality?
Stephanie, Steph Beezy, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding.
Steph Beezy.
Steph Beezy.
Okay.
Yo!
She is law school graduate, also business owner, numerous businesses, an entrepreneur, if you will. Also, one of the people that I know that made the venture to China.
That's right.
Of all places, China, and started a business in China, correct?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. Okay. So how are you doing today, Steph?
I'm doing great. I'm wonderful. How are you? How are you two kings doing?
I'm cool, just inside the house, doing nothing.
In the house. Me too.
Staying inside as much as I possibly can. But, it's a boring existence right now. That's why we want to talk to people that got more interesting lives, such as yourself.
There you
go. So, let's go. We had a guest, and we're going to release this at the same time as our other guest. Oh, wait, go ahead.
They're friends.
Oh, y'all are friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wait. So,
don't diminish our relationship.
No. Just so people know, our previous guest, who was in China, and what was her name again, Avery?
Whew. Don't do me like that, Steph.
Wow.
Oh, your previous guest, I don't know.
Your friend, Tiffany.
You guys had her on before?
Yes.
I thought there was another girl that was doing business in China, but she didn't live there.
No. Well, we did. We had her,
that.
but we're talking about Tiffany. It has not posted yet. So we're going to post because we wanted some. With everything that's going around with Corona, with everything with COVID, we wanted some better insight into what is happening over in China from Black people's perspective.
Yeah.
So that's why we had interviewed her probably like 2 weeks ago. And she told us some stuff about, and our interview when we had with her, she's still over there. So she's over there right now, and she was talking. I don't know how free she could talk. There were some pauses where I was like, please don't get picked up by anybody. But we also wanted to talk to you, and both of you have launched businesses in China.
Yeah.
So what made you? Did y'all know each other already? And is that what prompted you to go to China, or how does this come about?
No, we didn't know each other already. And we actually went to U of H together, or at the same time. So shout out to U of H. What's up, Houston? I'm so excited. But I was just like working in corporate America, 60 to 80 hours, at this law firm. And I was just tired of having no life. I felt like all the money that I was making was going back to loans and bills and everything else, as it should. And I was like, I talked to one of my friends who I did go to law school with, and he had no intentions of practicing. So he was like, every time I call you, you're complaining about your job, and you've always wanted to do business. Why don't you just come to China and do business here? Because everyone's doing business here. This is where it all goes down. So it took probably about 6 months after, talking with my mom and my mentor. I wanted to do it. I wanted to change. And I was like, I can just go for a year. If I don't like it, I can just always come back. And then I was there for 5 years. So I really, really liked it a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What were the positives? What did you like about China so much?
So one, traveling there is so easy. Like, honestly, all of this buying online and the Amazon life is like there times 50,000. Everything is super convenient because there's so many people. So, you know, in order to keep down traffic and they make everything, and you know, they're really good with technology. So why not make it a market space for everything? So everything is super convenient. I'm talking about like beyond just apps, there's an app, or beyond like something like Amazon, there's an app. If you need to get your toilet fixed, if you need to get someone to install carpeting, if you want to order an IE it or like a housekeeper, it all comes from one app. So one, the technology, two, just like the convenience of everything, three, the culture for the most part, a lot of it is like really dope AF. So I really enjoyed traveling around China, seeing like, you know, walking on glass bridges and hiking mountains in the freaking sky with clouds around me, and eating like authentic, really good Chinese food, just learning a lot about how they live, and it was really awesome. And I learned a lot about Zen and energy, and just I became more of a minimalist, and you know, I started vegan over there, and you know, everything from just their natural lifestyle in terms of health and their way of living. I really took a lot of things, adopted a lot of things. So like I had a major lifestyle change from there. And then on top of that, of course, business, like everyone comes to China to do business every year, specifically in the city that I was in, Guangzhou. So I'm meeting all types of people from everywhere. I feel like I've met more Africans from different countries over there than over here.
Oh, wow.
Even in Africa, when I go to Nigeria, like it's just been amazing. So that just kind of kept me going, and just seeing the opportunities that I had there. I was like, I can't leave. I gotta stay and make something of myself here as well as there. So yeah.
Positive.
Now let's back up. Like, before you even go to China, where were you living?
I was living in Dallas,
Okay.
and yeah, I was in Dallas for about 2 years, I would say.
And
And
oh no, I said, and you said it took about 6 months to get together. I mean, what's
yeah,
the
6 months.
first step in going to China? Like picking up and moving your life over there?
So one, I mean, you have so many ways to enter China. So you can business, you can tour, you can work. So for me, it was working. So I had to get a Z visa, which, you know, they have to check all of your background, and you have to get all of your paperwork together in terms of like, you know, your degrees. And then you have to go to the Chinese embassy, and you have to, um, you know, get all of these stamps of approval. And I mean, it was the same there with every little thing. You have to get stamp. So while you're waiting on your employer to go through and the governments to go through all of this stuff, you're just packing. And then I like downloaded WeChat because a lot of people use that over there. And you know, I was just talking to people and like, what should I bring? What should I expect? But my friends who initially, you know, introduced me to coming over there, they kind of told me everything that I needed to know. And then when I got there, they put me on to some of their friends. And then, you know, I just started making my own friends, and it was great.
That's
It was
dope.
great.
That's dope. What are some of the things they tell you, or what are some of the things you would tell people that are about to make that jump to China?
I would say definitely make sure that your employer is who and what they say they are. Don't overpack when you go there. China makes everything, but of course, for some things like you know, black hair care, for instance, that wasn't like so big out there. So on the other side of that, there's so many entrepreneurs that live there, black people who started making their own hair brands, because why not? If you can get the products and then you got the packaging right here, you got the factory, let's do it. So a lot of people made things, which made it easier for us moving in. Culture shock, you know, people are gonna be staring at you, of course, because you're black and beautiful, and people want to take your picture. I mean, the food is great, and with China, I mean, they cook and eat some everything, so you have like a huge variety of what you can choose. Um,
Lots of vegan options, I imagine.
yeah, lots of vegan, but they eat lots of pork, chicken, duck, snake. Okay, everything.
Yeah.
Fried
Yeah.
snake? Did you eat
They
some?
eat everything. Yeah.
They do.
Did you eat some snake while you was over there?
I didn't eat snake. I think maybe the most interesting thing that I did eat over there by accident was I was having lunch with one of my students at the time, their parents, because I started teaching when I was there. And she will always take me to Cantonese restaurants. So Cantonese is a culture, it's a type of people, language, and they have their foods. So she would just make it her business every month. We would go to a different place. And so she shows me this picture, and it was written in Chinese, and she says, this is, she said it was like a quail or something. And so I was like, okay, I've never eaten quail, but I've eaten quail eggs, and I'm assuming it's kind of like chicken, so I'll try it. So it ends up being a pigeon, y'all, a pigeon. But I can't lie, that was some of the most tender pigeon I ever had. I would eat it again just because, but if I didn't like, I asked again, because, if I find something really good that I like, I want to try and get it somewhere else. Man, that thing was a pigeon. So I was like, no, girl, we don't eat this.
Not in America.
So, but clearly it was on the menu ready to be served. So
Yeah. Somebody liked it.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody out there likes
And
it.
apparently you're somebody.
Yes, it was great. I'm not gonna lie. It was real tender, real
Really?
juicy, but
Baked, roasted, what?
It was roasted actually. It was roasted, and it looked like, how they take like not the quarter, almost like a little baby. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I was just chopping it up like, okay,
Wow.
get some soy sauce. False, okay. Oh yes,
Fine.
yeah,
Okay.
So initially you said you were a teacher over there.
yeah, yes.
So what made you want to teach? What made you want to go over there?
It was the easiest way. If you have like a Western passport, it's the easiest way to get a job. Chinese people are always encouraging and wanting their children to learn English. So even if I wasn't like a teacher there by my visa, like you could definitely do like tutoring on the side, because these people will pay for all types of tutoring. And I mean, like, if you've taken an SAT, you have an English, you speak English and you have an accent, that's like a green card to, or a green light to anybody that's like, hey, you want to, make some extra money on the side or whatever. So,
Put a dollar amount on it. How much you getting paid over there to tutor?
Well, I would say that in terms of teaching, teachers there make, and I don't even have a teaching degree. That's the thing. Like, they only require you to have like your bachelor's degree. So a lot of people who are not education certified are making the same or more than US teachers. And then if you start going into parts like UAE, you're getting like at least $5,000 a month, non-taxed, that type of thing. So because they really, they value the education, and they want their children to study abroad and know English, because the Chinese people, as you can see, they were taking over. So they want to make sure that wherever they send their people, they can speak the language, know, and everything else.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So So you weren't teaching here. I mean, what was your experience teaching over there? How's the classrooms? How is that teaching life?
So I was doing early childhood education. Well, at first, when I first started teaching, I was doing like a training center. So this is another thing. It's like, if you go there to teach, like, you just have to know. Like, I didn't know like all of the options. I was just like, okay, this place, which was like English First. No shout out to them because they suck. They're like the largest training center in the world. So they have when you come in, they're like, we're going to help you find an apartment. We won't help you pay for it, but we're going to help you find one. We're going to help you get your bank account, help you get a little dummy phone. So it was just like, China was so odd because it was just so different. So I really appreciated that they, it was an easy transition. But as soon as I got there, and then I was like, oh, I can actually be at a legitimate school making like so much more. And then on top of that, the cost of living is cheaper, and traveling is like second nature over there. So I was like, I can really like bank. So I definitely got into like tutoring on the side, like whether it was SAT, ACT, those, if you've taken it and they feel like your score is high enough, they'll probably make you test again, and then you can teach it. Oh my God, like you're really like making bank. So teaching is definitely very lucrative. It's easy, especially because it's English as a second language. So a lot of it's not like you don't know English, and lesson plans can be fun and engaging, but if you're teaching like small learners, it's just a lot of busy work at the end of the day. So it was like, this is like too easy. So that really gave me the ability to use my mind to, do my business and get to other things, because it was like, this is like a no-brainer. So, but it's at all levels. You can like work at a corporation and be like an English trainer in terms of teaching business or technical terms to the company, helping them if they have to talk to foreign clients who speak English. So English is like, it's such a great funnel for money, income over there.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you said this gave you enough time to start up your own business, like you're able to focus on that. When you went over there, was your goal the whole time to be like, yo, I'm going to start up a business?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so
because I wouldn't have gone, honestly. I would not have gone. It was like, and I'm glad that I did, because I was probably thinking about China in the way that a lot of people think about. We don't know enough, and we're very ignorant. But a part of that, they are a very closed society, so we don't really know the magic that it can be until you go over there and experience. So, but I definitely was like, I'm only moving here so I can pursue business.
And I think that's why we wanted to talk to the both of you, because we don't really have a perception. I don't have a perception of China beyond, there's anime, there's Chinese food, there's what I see on TV, like on the news occasionally. But in terms of daily life in China, and especially for Black people, we don't really know what goes on. So even some of the stuff you're saying where it's like, oh, there's like a high Nigerian population over there, or African population and things like that. What was the first business that you started over there, and why?
So I started with a sunglass company called Shade Bliss. And so I was talking with one of my friends, and he actually had worked with Ed Hardy Hong Kong at the time when Ed Hardy was there for like their merchandising and marketing. And so I kind of just hung out with him, kind of like his apprentice, to see what he had done, because he used to have a shop in Hong Kong. He studied design. So, and he had been living in China, I think my first year, probably about 4 or 5 years there already. So we would really hang out a lot, and I would just kind of go with him to the markets, learn. And then when it was kind of like, I want to start a business, he was like, okay, well, I can help you. Why don't we do this together? And so I was like, yeah, let's totally do it, because and if anything, especially with a lot of first businesses, is not your last. And I definitely learned a lot. I think we learned a lot about each other in terms of like being partners and doing business. So that really opened up my eyes, but I've always just kind of been like on my grind. So after work, I would go to the markets. On the weekends, I would go to the markets. Like if I wasn't fulfilling stuff for customers, I was just learning, trying to see where everything was. And so that just kind of helped me kind of figure out what I wanted to source. And
What do you mean the markets?
I'm sorry?
What do you mean by the markets?
So the markets are basically stores with different products, but in Guangzhou, for instance, it's separated. So if you're going to the clothing market, all the clothes will be there, and then that's next to the leather market, which will have all of your leather goods, handbags, bags, suitcases. And then across the way, there's the beauty market, which has your hair extensions and everything with beauty and salons and massage and this and that. And then if you're in another district, you're going to find jewelry, and then you'll find furniture, and then you'll find heavy machinery. So everything was there. And then like the first year was just like, this is not long enough to really know, because a lot of people were hiring me to buy things for them, or just be their representative at the factory because they couldn't be there. So just to make sure everything was running
These
smoothly.
are American companies that are people in America saying, hey, since you're over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay, so you're acting as like that kind of consultant
Right.
for these companies, and you're also still building up your own business.
Right. Yes. Most definitely. It just helped me learn. So I was like, why not? This is extra money, and also this is also helping me learn. So
okay. So I get like what happens next, because eventually you start to move into other businesses as well. So what's the next one that you start up?
that one was hair. So Hair by Akoni. And I kind of had always been in it because for personal purposes, but then lots of people started asking me. So it was like, this is just naturally, I'm here for me, I'm here for other people. So let's like really get to the ins and outs of this. And the more, I didn't say it like that from the beginning, but the more I just dug into it and learned and saw more, I just decided to take it more seriously professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, this is obviously something that we as Black women patronize so much. So I want to be that woman in the hair extension. Well, just not even just hair extension, but the hair industry, because, there's not a lot of us in terms of at the top when it comes to hair extensions, wigs and weaves. But if you look at statistics, 8 out of 10 women, Black women globally, wear wigs and weaves. However, who are your top hair extension companies and who's on their boards? Not us, and so it just was kind of like a personal thing. Like, no, we're going to do this. Let's go all the way.
Now, what is and that would be kind of the running thing where it's like we associate a lot of Chinese companies with, blatantly keeping Black people out of those type of markets at the top of it. So what has been your impression trying to break into an industry like that?
It's definitely that, because no matter what it is, China puts Chinese first, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, when I come in, I have to think of it that way. If I'm a business owner and I want to see my country grow, who those people are, I'm gonna make sure that they know. I don't think I would necessarily deal unfairly with other people, which is a lot of what you will find just in the Chinese marketplace naturally. But I'm the type of person where it's like, I'm going to get it at one price. I'm going to hire a Chinese person to go see what price they get it for, and then I'm going to come back and make it work.
All right, let's go. We want to talk about the positives and the negatives. So when you say like, there's already the unfair dealing in the Chinese market, specifically, what are you speaking to?
So that's twofold. One, within hair, I would say that on one end, I'm from America. Most of my market is in America. So, we are known as like, we deal with luxury goods. We even put prices on a tax on our products because it's American. But if I were coming saying I need to support my African market, then they would show me a whole different type of hair, usually cheaper. And so I say it's twofold because, a lot of African countries, their market isn't as viable as the US market. So they they know that they can charge a higher price, but also there are different qualities of hair that support these prices versus someone coming from an African country. They may not want like something that's super expensive in terms of hair.
Okay.
So there's that. And then there's always like racial bias everywhere. Like, I just think that, like, you know, people don't value us, and they value our money when it's time to like take it, but they don't value us as people. So it's like when they offer something to us, it's gonna be of lower value sometimes. So you really have to like fight, and that could be, some of that could be me just being a foreigner, because like I said, Chinese people are for Chinese people. Like they'll deal and do with other people, but at the end of the day, you know, they're coming for a reason. Like China first, and they're everywhere for a reason. Like this initiative with them being all in Africa and everything now it's like the Silk Road turned into their now called Iron Belt Road initiative. So they want to make sure that they have their manufacturing and their forts everywhere, so wherever they can go, they go. So there's that aspect. There's also, you know, just being able to get over on people who don't know what they're talking about. So I just made sure I did my homework when it came to hair, knowing where it comes from, knowing how they chop it up, knowing like when I touch it, because, you know, the number one thing is, yes, this is a good price. This is good. This is special for you. This is that. And it's like, you don't know that I live here. So you think you're just going to sell me something and I'm going to just hop right back on the plane and be gone. And then when it doesn't work, I'm just like, oh, well, no, I'm going to show up at your door. Like, listen, I'm down the street. Okay, so we're going to need to come back. So I learned just in Chinese culture, they're a very relationship savvy culture. So I mean, just in general, everywhere around the world, if you have a relationship with someone, you have some type of familiarity, they might treat you a little bit better or something like that. There in business, it works like that all the way. So I stopped just calling and meeting and doing this. I made sure I was meeting the owners of the companies. I was meeting the Lao Ban, the people who, you know, had to say so. So you see my face, you know what's up. Like, you're not going to have me go through the chain of command. Because on the flip side, I remember when I was applying for this university position to teach American jurisprudence. And so I got an interview, I got there. And so I was supposed to be speaking to the vice president or vice chancellor or whatever. And she was there. But, you know, to them, it's like, I don't have time to talk to you unless you pass everybody else in the chain of command. So they had me talk to a secretary, then they had me talk to some director, then they had me talk to someone who was one under her. And so this lady thought that she was slick, but, you know, I was kind of like, what can I say at that point? You know, I don't have the Chinese words to let you know what's up. And I'm trying to get this job, but she just kept like, okay, well, one second. So she was leaving the room, writing down notes of what I was saying, telling it to the lady, the vice chancellor, and then if she had questions, coming down and answering and this and this. And then finally, I went to the bathroom, and then I saw this lady. I've been saw you on the website. Like, lady, I know who you are. Like, why are they saying you're not here? So it was so crazy. So after that, I was just like, man, y'all just wasted a whole bunch of time. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. That's your culture. But, you know, I feel like for me, in any type of culture, we need to do things that make sense. So if I'm involved, I would try to move it that way. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you do have to just move how they move in terms of, you know, I'm trying to get a job at your establishment. So, but like, if I can cut through the red tape, let's just cut through it, because this is not really working.
Were you able to speak to her?
Finally, because I got the position, but they were trying to lowball me. They were lowballing me. I had already talked to, I was actually recommended by a Chinese professor. And so when I told him the amount that they were trying to offer me, because he already told me what I should expect to make, he was like, no, 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 you need to go back and demand this and that. And so he was like, yeah, I think they will try to offer a Chinese person a little bit more than a foreigner and this and that. So I was just like, honestly, for this amount of pay and the work that you want me to do, I can be right over here in this kindergarten, okay, playing all day, making about the same, you know what I'm saying? So I was just, or at least like, I'm at this school, keep going, like, it's not worth it, and so that's another thing culturally with, depending, like a lot of people working really hard for little money. And that's why a lot of companies, that's why they outsource over there. And so some of the employers try to come to you as a foreigner with that same mindset. And it's like, nah, bruh, this is like unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take it. And then you just walk because, you need me at the end of the day. This is something with English curriculum or something that you have like, who else, where are you going to find another American lawyer over here? So
Sure.
I made her, but again, the price just wasn't right for me to leave such an easy job that gave me the freedom to do my business. So I was just like, nah. But it was a good experience.
Okay. So, I mean, and I guess this kind of goes back more so into just daily life. What about just your daily life and just living in China? I know our last guest was talking about the apps you can use. I mean, some of it sound great. Like, it's like, yo, I can use this app and it can do everything. Some of it sounded kind of weird. Like, it's like, yo, they can come into the club and just turn on all the lights and start checking passports.
Yeah.
So tell us about your daily life interactions in China.
So usually I would go to work and then like I have my workout classes. I did boxing for a while over there. Walking up and down the street, taking the train everywhere, going to see my friends, shopping at markets. Sometimes you would go to the club or you would go to like spots. And then I was actually into jazz bands there. So sometimes I would have performances and it's pretty regular. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you do anything other than singing with music?
Well, I can still play my violin. I need to, I do plan on practicing up on that more because I feel like when I finally I'm settled in a place, I do want to join a city orchestra because I love playing it. I be rapping low key on the side.
You do be rapping. I watch your Instagram stories. That's what I was getting at.
That's just little stuff,
You got bars.
Session.
When you got bars, I'll be like, okay, all right. But still, everyday life in China, though, like we were speaking about before, what is one of the main contrasts that you've seen from, as opposed to America, like living in China?
So WeChat is like, it's this everything in one app where I don't know anyone's phone number. I just know their WeChat, and WeChat is kind of like Messenger, Facebook. You can video call. You can also pay people on there, get money.
Wait, pay businesses on there?
I'm sorry?
Like if you go to the store, can you use your WeChat?
Yeah, you can use your WeChat. It's like Apple Pay. But for this, you can buy train tickets, flight tickets. Everything is on here. Like you literally don't have to leave your house. Like you can order any and everything. Services, talk to people. It's like super duper, like everything into one, super convenient.
Now, the other thing too is like, do you guys have since that's the big app, do you guys have a Twitter or Apple Pay or Google, or what are the apps that y'all have over there, and what are the apps that you don't have that Americans might not be used to?
Okay, so, I'm going to let you know everything that's blocked first, because a lot of Western life is blocked for political, social reasons. So no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no Okay, so like TikTok is Chinese. So it used to, well, it's called Douyin over there. But if you were to download it over there, it will be Douyin, same symbol and everything, but it won't, you won't be able to access, like, I guess, the rest of the world TikTok, like the American and everything
Okay.
else. So you have to use a VPN in order to get on these types of apps and things of that nature, which can be annoying because sometimes it's not working. Sometimes your internet is a little slow and stuff. So it just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are blocked, but they have like similar apps, right?
Yeah. Similar apps.
Okay, so like there's a Chinese Twitter and a Chinese Google or Facebook or something like that, or is it just WeChat?
There's WeChat, there's Baidu. Baidu is pretty much a search engine slash, it kind of has some other features. I didn't really use it as much, but you can akin that to like a Google or something. Bing is like Google search.
Wait. They have Bing?
No, they do have Bing, but Bing is like Google
Okay,
because
I was wondering who was using Bing, and it turns out it's China. Because
yeah.
Wow.
I think is it Chinese?
we
I'm
make
not
fun of Bing.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh,
We make fun of
okay,
Bing all
okay.
day long.
That
I was
makes
like, who's using
Microsoft don't even put that on their Xbox no more. They're just
No, they
Google.
tried to
Well,
make
it
us
is
use Bing.
big over there.
Yeah.
Bing is
It's
big.
big over there.
Bing was big in America for 2 weeks max.
I wouldn't even say big. I feel like Google didn't even really look at that like too hard.
Listen.
I was like, oh, Bing.
No. I remember it because Bing was like, for 2 weeks, it was like the shit. Because Google, people don't remember, Google used to not be that great. And then Bing came out, and Bing was like, look at all the shit you can do. And then 2 weeks later, Google was like, look at all the shit you can do. It was Bing. It was Bing.
Yeah.
That's 100.
Yeah, Bing always sends me like it's like a horrible search. Like if I like Google, just you search for a restaurant and it tells you a restaurant. Like Bing, you just never know.
Yeah, Bing will show you how to make the food.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Chinese food.
They'd be like, here's how you
Chinese food near me, and it'll be like, here's how to make duck sauce. I'm like, what? Yeah, so yeah, okay.
Yes.
So China is using Bing heavy.
Heavy.
Okay.
Heavy. It's the default. Baidu and then Bing. Bing is more for us, English speakers, and then they'll use it too, but they use Baidu. Baidu is like
that's the other thing. How well versed are you at speaking any of the dialect, Mandarin or Cantonese or any? I don't even know. Is Cantonese a dialect that is spoken? I don't know.
Okay, yes. So Cantonese, it is a dialect, and I speak better Chinese, aka Mandarin, which is the national language, than Cantonese. And then Cantonese, I kind of felt like whatever I picked up, it was just like a lot of taxi language, and I didn't know after a while that I wasn't speaking Chinese and was speaking Cantonese until like I went to Beijing, and they're like, what? Who says that? And I was like, oh, okay, this is Cantonese. So some of it is kind of similar, but not really. So everyone speaks Mandarin, but you know, you have Cantonese and you have Beijingese and Shanghaiese and everything. Another little thing, it's not Shanghai, it's Shanghai.
What?
Yeah.
Shanghai.
Yes.
Like SHUNG as opposed to SHANG. You pronounce it with a U. Okay, Shanghai.
What was that movie?
Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai Noon? They messed up.
Shanghai Nights.
Because I've been calling it Shanghai. Okay, so
that's what they said.
Shanghai.
They said Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
That's like Chef Boy RD.
Where are you going? I had to learn because like literally with all their tones and words, when I first got there, I used to go to Xiaobei a lot. That's like Little Africa. So I would always forget to say Xiaobei and I would say Xiaobao or something like that. That means little baby. So they're like, girl, you're going to get in a taxi and just end up missing. So I'm going to need you to learn exactly where you need to go so that you won't have any problems because they be
just to go back to it, you said it's like Chef what, Devon?
Chef Boy RD.
How you pronounce that? I forgot.
Well, I mean, it's the guy's name was Chef Boyardee, but when
Yeah.
they were
Chef
bringing it over,
Boyardee.
when they were bringing it over to America, they was like, man, Americans can't say Boyardee.
Chef
Boyardee.
Boyardee.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, and then a whole brand was born.
Right.
So that's it.
There's so many of those things in this country.
Also, the
That's
food was
true.
really Italian. I feel like whoever started that company is rolling over in their grave if they tried that canned ravioli now.
What are they
Like,
doing?
what?
Rolling over on the money? Because
Yeah,
that's,
that's
what it
true.
sounds like to me.
That is true. That is true. They was like, well, we're rich now.
Call me what you want, as long as my money is green, red, or other. Okay.
So even you said you would hang out in like the African part of town, like Little Africa. Is that what they're calling it?
Yes, Little Africa, Shao Bay.
So
Shao Bay?
Shao Bay.
Really?
Shao Bay.
Obvious joke in that. I'm gonna just leave it alone.
So what is people's or your perception of Chinese treatment of Black people, Chinese treatment of Africans? Like, how was it when you were over there?
So when I was there is definitely a divide of being Westerner Black in terms of being American or from the UK versus just being straight from Africa. Because, I mean, I would say that like there was the American privilege. This was the first time in my life that I ever felt privileged having an American passport, even saying I'm American, because like if the police come and stop you, especially because you're Black, especially because they assume you're from Africa straight, they ask for your passport. And so when I would pull out the blue, they'd be like, all right, okay, go. But for like a lot of my friends, if I'm with my African friends from Congo or Senegal or something, they'll still have legitimate paperwork, but they'll take so long trying to read, ask them why they're there, what they're doing, and all this stuff. So, yeah, there's that open racism. There's this other open racism. Some people will just tell you like, I don't want to lease my apartment to you or rent my apartment to you because you're Black. Or I've heard horror stories like somebody passed away. My friend's ex-coworker's husband passed away. It was a Chinese woman and African man. He drowned and the hospital refused to see him. You'll always see the police officers heavy in Shao Bay. And like, I remember one time going to a club with two of my American white friends, and they just let them go in. But then when it came to me, they were like, passport, do you have your passport? So there's just so much discrimination against Black people. And I mean, like, even in, getting jobs, they'll say we don't want too many Black people. And some of that is because, for instance, I feel like, and I've heard Chinese people say it here, and you can see it here. When Chinese people do business with foreigners, they like to align themselves with white people, European people. So if they wanted to make something diverse and they wanted to put up a sign, they're going to put some white people up. They're going to put, other people up. They won't put Black. And so, but if you call them out on it, no. It's not racism. I'm not racist. It's just because of some other excuse. But you would definitely see it like very heavily. And this last thing that went down with them kicking out Black people from their homes and trying to put COVID-19 on them after it started in China, no one was safe. Like even the U.S. Embassy sent something out to African Americans saying, if you are Black, you will be discriminated against. So stay in your home. Don't be out, because at the end of the day, you can't really, I'm American. I have rights. Not unless you're on the embassy grounds or the consulate grounds. Yeah. So you have to submit to them and their policy. And if it's coming from the top down, to check Africans and all this stuff, then, you just have to do what you have to do to be safe.
Yeah. Now, were you
there during that time?
Oh, wait.
I wasn't there. I was right, like in February, right at the beginning, when it started to like get out. I was in the Philippines on holiday, So I planned my little holiday. Then after that, I was going to go back to China as usual. But, you know, they started shutting down flights and everything. So, you know, I'm hearing all of the stories. I had like major friends on the ground there that were like getting donations, housing people, making sure people at least had sleeping bags, that they were going to be outside, food, all this stuff. And like Tiff and I have this group, Black Americans in China. So even though I wasn't there, I had to make sure that I was still like operating it, letting people know what they could post, what they couldn't post, and all this stuff. So yeah, I wasn't there, but I felt like I was there in spirit. I was like, you know, trying to make sure people were okay, trying to see if things could get done on this side. So
you were in the Philippines at that time.
Yes.
Okay, so what made you decide, because now you're in America, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what made you decide, hey, let me just go ahead and come on back to the US?
Well, I mean, as of now, I never really just made a decision. It was kind of made for me because the borders are closed. Like, you know, all the major airlines everywhere were like, you can't fly into China, especially when it was like still super heavy in China. And then, like, I know now at least, China closed the borders to a lot of different countries. They slowly opened up to like Taiwan and Japan and stuff, but like Western countries, other countries, like it would just take too much just to fly into China. And then if I were to fly in, I'd have to be quarantined for 14 days, all that stuff. So it's just kind of like, let me just be here right now until we didn't even have our shit together over here. So it's just kind of like, let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, over here is the mess. Over there is probably even more mess. So my family's here, I'm here. So let me just be still and like a true entrepreneur, just keep moving, doing my thing.
Now, even when, like you said, you were in the Philippines, what was, from your viewpoint down there, the people's view of what was going on with COVID? I mean, just to fill it in, like our perspective here, I felt like Americans was like, this is not a thing. This is not a thing. And then they were like, oh, whoa, this is a thing. And now we're kind of back to this is not a thing. Yeah. So what is the perception there?
Slowly it became a thing. Now, it was kind of like where I was specifically, there were more Filipino people, was more local. I wasn't like staying where a lot of foreigners would be. So I think for a lot of Filipino people, they were just kind of like everyone else was at the beginning in terms of like the high xenophobia against Chinese people. Okay, well, if Chinese people are over here, I'm over here. If they're over here, I'm over here. So I saw people getting the masks. Masks were being sold out when I did have to fly to Manila to go visit factories and stuff. Like the price of masks went up. So I was like, okay, this is obviously becoming a thing. But where I was in Cebu. People weren't really just tripping like that. But they said if you did go to the major city, if you were around a lot of foreigners, because obviously these people had to fly to get here, then be concerned, be worried. So at that stage, no one was really saying you must wear a mask. You must wear a mask. It was kind of like by choice. And then it's like, okay, well, things are getting real because everyone everywhere is freaking out. But I talked to one of my friends there, and he said that, you know, they're still in quarantine. Things have opened up slowly, but like not like the beach and stuff. So they definitely are like everywhere else. But at the beginning of it, it was just kind of like, it's a thing, but as long as we can stay guarded, it's okay. And so, I remember talking to one hair factory, and she was saying that one of the villages that they get their hair from, they had to shut it down because there were Chinese people who worked there that were straight from Wuhan. So at the time, it was kind of like, we don't want to wait to know if anything's going to pop up. We're just going to shut it down. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically they treated it the way we kind of treated it at first.
Yeah.
But then kind of, I feel like things ramped up quick. What about just overall interactions with, does it feel like we talked with the last guest about privacy and things like that in China, as opposed to America? I would say the overall perception in America, at least from my experience and talking to people, is that, the Chinese government is just like authoritative and all in your stuff all the time. And that's not how I want to live. So that's why we're over here. What would you say now that you've been in both?
I would say that one government is actually telling you that they're watching you while the other one is not.
That's the same thing she said. Okay.
It's just kind of like the wiretap lawsuits and all that stuff that came about. It was just kind of like, okay, so were you trying to tell us? But then you were always trying to be like, oh, well, we're American, so it's illegal, but you're really watching. So it's like there, it's a thing, and so you're careful, and for the most part, what am I doing besides going to work, working on my business, and like, I don't have any reason to be like, oh my God, someone is over my shoulder, But if you live in that life, then okay, of course, it's gonna be a thing for you. But for the most part, they're in everything. Everything's monitored. There are cameras everywhere. So you just live and act accordingly. But I just thought, anyway, I'm living in a different country. I'm gonna live and act accordingly just because I'm a foreigner. So I'm not trying to stick out. And I'm not trying to do anything that violates whatever the laws are. So, but with that, they're just pretending that you have privacy.
Okay. Now,
that here, they sold you a phone tap, all right, a house tap, and they said, here, Google Home. I'm like, nigga, if you cover your camera like on your phone, on your computer, and you have a Google Home. Wow.
It's listening. Like, it doesn't have to see you. I mean, how many times have you been talking about something and then you get on your computer or your phone and all of a sudden you see an ad for something that I was thinking about grapes the other day. Well, damn. Okay, grapes.
I apparently love J. Crew and Express because I do talk about it.
Yes, that's how it is. So you just act accordingly. Like, it was nothing. And I think, honestly, I don't know if that kept the people in general more honest for certain things, because like, you have cameras there, you quote unquote don't have cameras and spying here, but I would never trust my Amazon delivery to be at my door. Like, because people over here steal. There, you can leave your stuff for days, weeks, it'll still be there. Like, no one is messing with you like that. And then
really?
you get on the bus and like come in through the back. Over here, I came in through the back, I'm not gonna pay. Over there, they pass their money up. So I feel like maybe that has something to do with the honesty policy, and we're here and we're being watched. And so I don't know, but definitely being watched in both places. Like,
yeah.
So
is it your plan to go back when things start to open up again?
I think I want to go back for business purposes only. I think that I have done what I needed to do for the most part, but I have friends there, and if I need to do business there and I need to actually like go there, then I would.
Okay.
But for the most part, I was just kind of like, I'm still doing everything that I did there, minus being right there on the ground, like, so it's not a necessity.
And then let's talk about the businesses then, because that's what we're here for as well. So tell us about the businesses that you're running and promoting right now.
So Hair by Akoni, that's hairbyakoni.com. I have Instagram page, YouTube page, website. And from there, I basically am like a lot of Black women who we rock our natural hair. So I do natural hair care tips, but I also have a hair extension company, which is not just limited to Black women. I provide hair extensions to all women, all types of applications. And I also have a sustainable detangling brush right now. So that's really good for detangling our hair in minimal time without breaking it, stripping it. And I've actually had a few men tell me they love it for their beards. They use it every day, like massages, it detangles when they're like shampooing, conditioning their hair. So
Avery didn't know.
y'all invest in my black business.
I'm about to say,
real.
Avery didn't know about your brush. Like, you never told him about the brush?
Okay, well, we're gonna have a brush for you real soon.
But I see why you dropped it. Two niggas with beards. He was like, yeah.
Hey,
Let me drop this right.
I'm about to say.
I'm just speaking about what I have.
You're marketing extraordinaire. I've seen you.
I've been learning.
Yeah.
No, but like most definitely invest in my business because we have great things, great plans, and there aren't many black owned hair factory. We want to experiment with sustainable hair. We want to I really want to get into this. I'm in it, but I really, really want to like revolutionize the game because it's like the Chinese people, Indian, they are like the masters of it. So I came there with a mission to learn, to see, and I know what's up. So now it's like, if we are the ones that use it, and a lot of times like it's because of our use that they can make their products better. Why not, have it in-house? And so I'm just doing my thing over here, trying to pioneer.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So that's my main business. But I've always had dreams of being a businesswoman. And so I've always loved fashion. So like I did a lot of fashion law work prior to coming to China, in terms of like drafting contracts for designers and models and photographers during like fashion weeks. I worked for Houston Fashion Week. So I wanted to get more into design and fashion, in terms of like, I'm really designing it. So right now I'm learning the business, learning the industry of that. So I do sell bandage dresses for now, but my main focus is my hair company. And so that was another thing. Like I said, if I went back to China, like this was it. I would have my hand in everything because it's like, why not? And I really, really hope that people would utilize my services in terms of really trying to start their own, source their own, because it was like, you can go inside of a furniture place and be like, wow, this looks just like Ethan Allen. This looks just like Pure One Imports.
Yeah.
This looks just like Lowe's. This looks just like, and obviously these people are getting a lot of their things from there. So I would try to spread the word as much as I could, especially to Black business owners or Black entrepreneurs, people thinking about getting into business, just because it's like, we can really do this. You just need a little help, a little guide. And yeah, so I really hope that a lot of people will consult with me, and not just for me. Yeah, I want to make business, but for the culture, we don't have a lot of foundation in a lot of stuff. And we always have to go to and through other people. So that was another pillar of, you need to start your own business. You need to, not only that, teach people how to do it. That's important with me and my blog, going behind the scenes with people so that they can see exactly what I'm doing, how I do it. You can do it. It's not that hard, or it's not difficult. You can make a way. So I really, really hope that more and more people, but specifically more Black people, utilize my services. Start your own. We can do any and everything. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you're talking about eventually trying to be that, you want to like wholesale and make sure to help other Black people start businesses in terms of distributing hair and things like that as well?
It can be that. I do, on my side, it's not just wholesaling, it's custom designing, especially for people. Because for me, it was truly the consulting. You are a business owner and you have your own designs that you want made here, but you don't speak the language, or you're not here, or who's going to check you on your day to day. Like, I not only help people source already made products, but I help them put their thoughts and their ideas into an actual something. Factory makes it, I handle their shipping and logistics, and it's there.
Oh no, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay, so I guess what if somebody is planning, not just, hey, I want to make this trip out to China. I want to start my business and kind of study abroad. What are some of the tips that you would tell them before coming out here?
If they want to work and just visit, or what did you say?
Just to work. If they said, hey, I want to take the leap just like you did and get out there.
Well, it depends on what you want. I would say teaching is probably the only thing that you could do with just your degree and a passport. But if you actually want to enter other industries outside of education, you will need to speak, read, and write some language of, or some level of Chinese in testing format. Like, they will test you, and then you will be able to work in these places. But I would definitely say social media, try to meet with some people there. You can talk to me. There's Black Life China, all types of groups. Just like Google and search, and you can find active groups of people who live in China, live abroad, and talk to them. And then maybe you can figure out exactly what city you want to go, because some cities are better than others in terms of like if you wanted to do certain types of business, if you wanted a whole bunch of foreigners in your city. So it depends. It depends.
Okay. Yeah, I think the go off that point, one of our first guests, the young lady who was selling like lingerie, was like, I went to the wrong city.
Yeah.
Popped up, it was the wrong city, and they directed me to the right city, and it had everything that I was looking for. So yeah.
For that, I would say, like, if you specifically want to go there for business, trade, like, you can look on Alibaba and you can actually do a manufacturer search to find who is going to be making, or who could make your product or your item, and then you can go visit that city. But for the most part, I would say, like, trade products, you can go to Guangzhou. That's like a big hub city where they have everything. And then there's another city called I can't think of it right now, but there are two main trading ports in China for trade business, products, all that stuff. But other than that, like, talk to people who are there that can kind of help you know where you should go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jewels on us. That's good.
Now,
are you picking up what I'm putting down?
The corny.
Anything you want your audience to know, pop up all your stuff, let people know where they can find you and all that stuff. Like, let the audience know about you before we get out of here.
Okay. Personal page at Fashion Legal Air, Fashion LEGALLAIRE. Business is at Hair by Akoni. That's AKONI on Instagram, on YouTube, on the website hairbyakoni.com. We have a Kinky Curly blog. Yeah, that's where you can find me. All my information is there. Go to my Instagram pages. The links are all in my bio, and you can hit me up personally, professionally. It's all there. Look at my beautiful page. Yes.
It looks beautiful. And you can find her in my comment section.
Yes.
She's one of my partners.
Sure. Okay, hey girl.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end. Why y'all trying to kick me out? This is great.
Because we got
no. This is great. We appreciate you coming on.
Heartbroken. It was great. You guys keep doing your thing. Keep, And support Black business, and let's support each other.
Yes.
One thing I do want to say, we need to stop looking at each other. The distrust slavery days are over. We need to be trying to figure out what each other's skills, talents are, how we can link, how we can group, how we can put our money together and build. Buy land, buy property, and build. Because
Absolutely.
that as long as we don't have foundation, any and everything can come and attack us. Yes, I know we're strong, but I'm tired of fighting. So
Truth. Absolutely.
Land, property, build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
support
And
each other
support.
business wise. You
Support.
can find, and I think that's one of the biggest things is like, you know, people can make complaints about any business, Black, white, Hispanic, whatever, but it's like you can find a business, you can find a Black business
Right.
that is doing the work that you like, that you can support. I know one thing, I pay Xfinity every month and they are trash. They are quite possibly the worst company that I've ever dealt with in my
Basura.
life. And they get paid because I ain't got no. If another
Regardless.
company came on the horizon right now and was like, I got half the service that they got and better customer service, I'd be like, all right, let's see what you got.
Right.
Like that's how bad they are. So
Xfinity's like, where you gonna go, nigga?
yeah, that's exactly how Xfinity is. So it kind of makes me weird when it's like, you know, people make every single long form, you know, 2-page post because they're like, yo, I went to this Black restaurant and my tea was too. I'm like, you complained about one thing? Like the tea wasn't right. It was
if you've been
a little
dealing
too cold.
with white businesses and their bullshit and you still give them their money, then I'm gonna need you to what?
And I'm not saying don't critique Black businesses.
Right,
Black businesses need critique, but y'all
but
need
perfection
exactly.
each and every time. And it's like,
Yeah,
nobody
like,
just works like that.
you constantly eat at McDonald's and blame everybody who works. It's the company. They'll be like, oh, Lakeisha at McDonald's. Lakeisha don't own McDonald's.
All the time.
McDonald's.
And that's why Lakeisha fucked up, because she don't own McDonald's and they ain't paying her too much.
You know, they're not
All
paying her to.
All
Like-
the time. So it's like we're definitely willing to give a pass to a lot of big companies, huge companies. You know, Walmart, Amazon, all these things where I'm like, guy, you can point to how many mistakes they make constantly, but you're back.
Don't even get me
You're back
started.
there all the time.
Walmart done almost killed civilizations. So like, it's like, golly.
Listen. Yes. Yeah.
It is what it is.
So absolutely, like make sure you're out there supporting, find a business you like and just support it. Find the products you like and just support it. Plus, when you already have that interaction, it's great to call a business like you were talking about that Chinese ideal where it's like, it's great to have a business and have business relationships where you know the people.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I called up Stephanie because I know her and I know like I'm gonna get my product on time.
Right.
I know I'm going to get exactly what I asked for. I know if there's a mistake, she's gonna correct it. And if there's a mistake on the other end, she's gonna be out there knocking on their door like you didn't provide this right product to my client. So yeah, that's what we like to see.
Periods. That's what Generation Z. Periods.
Wow, man. We just want to thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
For this
Thank you so much.
Yes, man. You've been awesome. Once again, this is In My Humble Opinion podcast.
Yes.
I've been your host, Avery, like a very nice guy. You can find me, Avery, a very nice guy, 777 on Instagram.
You don't even remember your name?
I changed it. Remember, I used to be Vince McMahon. Calm down.
Oh, that's right.
Crazy.
That's right.
Calm down.
That's right. My bad.
Also, Vince_McMahons with a Z. Yes, and
No
my
relation.
brother. You said what?
Vince McMahon's. I'm thinking, who owns
McMahon's.
McMahon's?
Yeah, he changed that up. That up. So yeah. Okay. And I don't think Vince McMahon's gonna attack you because he's on like a Black Lives Matter kick right now. So maybe he's cool. Right?
Are you kidding?
Supports Trump.
Okay.
He's Trump's partner.
Everybody's come out saying their Black Lives Matter now.
He don't care about all lives because they wanted WWE to keep going in the midst.
In the midst of it. They were like, yo, you need to.
My life hasn't stopped. Y'all was like, football went away. I was like, and Drew Galloway's the champion.
First of all,
WrestleMania happened.
the fact that
John Cena retired. It was amazing.
I have a
It was
quick
the greatest
question. I'm
match
sorry.
ever.
Yeah.
What?
Did you previously support NFL, and are you going to continue if you did support NFL?
Oh, so I had stopped for a
Good.
long time.
Good.
Not only because of what was going on with Kaepernick and the NFL was fake, but I am since its inception, a Texans fan. So it wasn't a lot for me to walk away from the game. Like I was like, you know what, whatever, that's it.
Right.
And
Disrespect.
I pivoted over to I support all Houston teams, but I was like, okay, I'll just watch the Rockets. This makes me even less likely to come back and watch the NFL, because for you to step up now of all times and be like, hey, I was wrong, and really not admit to any kind of wrongdoing.
Right.
Like, you're like, yeah, I was wrong. I'm not going to admit criminally to what we did that was wrong, but we should have let you guys kneel them couple of times y'all was doing it. Our bad. And that appears to be whoever is handling PR for all these firms. Everybody is writing our bad. Sorry, guys. Like, yo.
What about Donald Sterling?
Yeah.
Like
Our
him too.
Oops.
Yeah,
I'm
my bad.
Sorry. The cops are saying my bad.
Yeah.
Our bad. Oops.
Everybody's doing it.
I'm like, yo, people die. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to walk away with the our bad. People died and lost their jobs for talking about people dying.
Mhm.
So it makes no sense to me. So, yeah, I'm even less likely to support any NFL. Avery, did you even watch the NFL?
I don't watch sports.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. My life didn't stop.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to start watching soccer to piss people off.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
only
they
thing
racist too. They racist too.
Oh, I know. They throw bananas.
You see what's happening in the UK right now. Like,
Right.
the UK is hilarious, where they're like, well, I don't know what's going on in America. I was like, you need to turn around and look in your backyard.
I was like,
Like, y'all were racist.
you invented it. It
was
comes
like,
from you guys.
well, every country that's like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And then there's a black guy
Entitlement.
like in the background waving like, hey,
Yeah.
you're racist too. They're like, what?
The entitlements of the people that are running the companies.
Yeah.
It's Europe. That's where it's from.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, this is gonna get too far left. Oh, I have to say one thing though. I don't even like ice cream, but Ben and Jerry's started messing with them.
Ben and Jerry's is the truth.
Yo, we've been on this, and here's our plan. I was like,
What their company look like though? Not their tweets, not their social media.
But
What does their company look
that
like?
is I've seen a number of people, black people, that are like, yo, I was surprised when I started working at Ben and Jerry's.
yeah.
Okay.
Like higher up, they're
Ben and
like,
Jerry's has been like that.
I didn't realize how much it was, but it's kind of. First of all, I like Ben and Jerry's just because I think they offer a better quality ice cream, and I'm not a fan of Bluebell. I'm a Texas person.
Bluebell antioxidant.
Thank you.
I mean, I just don't understand.
And not freeze in your throat.
Yeah.
Plus, Bluebell, all people advertise is just like the amount of ice cream you're getting. Like my father loves
gallon?
Bluebell. He's like, oh, you can get a gallon, a whole gallon for like $4. I'm like, yeah, but it's not good.
A half gallon of garbage.
It's not good ice cream.
Yeah.
It's really not. There's so much better, higher quality ice cream. I made ice cream one time, and I made vanilla ice cream. That was for Thanksgiving that one year. And I remember when I finished it, I was like, this tastes good. How is Bluebell selling us ice cream at this low of a price? Because vanilla beans are expensive. Like I said, and I know Bluebell ain't losing money. I know they're not.
Beans.
That's not vanilla bean. I don't know what that is. So yeah.
Vanilla flavoring. It's like Lipton in their tea. Like, okay. Tea flavored water. Well, that's a whole nother podcast. And we're not gonna do that right now.
You're gonna get big tea on your head. If Lipton show up at the door, like, hey, we saw you.
But it is what it is. I love tea though. So please Don't knock my
I'm
sponsorship.
telling you, a Lipton bin race. Never mind. We ain't got to chase it back. Well,
We gotta go back. Yeah.
Lipton company go way, way,
I
way
know.
back.
So,
We was
yeah.
colonizing people for
Who
tea.
was the slaves working for?
Listen,
Anyway, now, once again, in my humble opinion podcast, we're here with Stephanie of Hair by Akoni.
yes.
Yes. Also, once again, my brother Jess Devine, and I have been Avery Like a Very Nice Guy. In my humble opinion, it's great. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Bang.
Right. So that's it. Thank you for coming out. Oh, we got to change. I see what Dad's talking about on our backgrounds. He's gonna be like, "Yo, y'all need a better set."
What do you
So
mean?
where's the after party?
Larry was like, "Yo, y'all need to get a better set." Like,